how to get the motivation to work out. So I'm going to go over that today. Getting the motivation, keeping the motivation, and staying driven, discipline, difference between motivation and discipline. We'll keep it mostly on motivation though today, but just kind of want to touch on the difference so that you can continue going. Share my experience of kind of that shift when I decided to work out and really start doing it really consistently. Going over kind of best practices for just like getting started and kind of my thoughts on that. So first things first, motivation, getting motivated. Motivation is really important in the beginning, starting out, okay? You have to get motivated motivation to me is just that feeling that gets you even wanting to start working out. Like you feel motivated to do it, but you may not be like driven or disciplined enough to actually start doing it, right? But motivation is like that initial like, oh yeah, I really want to start working out. Like you kind of excited about it, right? So that's important because that's what's going to get you off the couch, okay? So that's the first thing. So it is important. It's just very beginning stages of things. Getting the motivation, I think you have to have a reason why. I think that is something that's super important. And again, I'm going to get into what my thing was for this and how that changed for me and where I was, all that stuff. But having the why of why do I even want to work out, right? There's so many reasons that it could be, and everybody's going to be different, and there's no right or wrong. It's just depending on what you are. So if you feel like you need to lose weight, if you feel like you need to gain weight, if you feel like it will give you confidence, if you feel like you need to just be physically stronger or maybe even mentally stronger, but a strong body equals a strong mind, right? There's all different kinds of reasons. You got to figure out your why. And then once you figure that question out, like let's say I want to be stronger, right? Like I just want to be stronger. Why do you want to be stronger? What benefit does that give you? How does that improve your life, right? We have to get to the real deep why I want to start working out, because there's always something beneath that surface level answer. I want to work out because my goal is to get stronger. Okay, well, why do you want to get stronger? This goes into kind of my story, right? So what happened for me, and this was, years ago at this point, I was at a place where I was pretty weak physically because I hadn't been working out for, maybe like 2 years or something like that. So I was just really skinny, right? So I was really skinnier than I wanted to be, and I was like not eating at all, hardly, like hardly at all. And so I was just like really weak. And I didn't like how I looked either. So what made me want to change was I kind of wanted to just improve things overall. But what was happening at that time was that my wife was pregnant with our first kid. And to me, and hopefully it doesn't have to be that dramatic for you watching. Maybe it is, maybe not. But for me, I kind of had to take a step back and realize that I wanted to be stronger and bigger to look more kind of intimidating, I guess you could say, or at least make people maybe second guess if they're going to mess with me or my family, right? And it was in order to be able to protect my family better and to be what I believe, in my view, would be a better role model for my son, right? So that was something that really hit home for me, that when I kind of figured that out, I realized that I was going against by not working out, I was now going against who I actually was, which was somebody that, like, I wanted to be somebody that was strong physically, strong mentally, somebody that was a good role model, somebody that was bigger than I was. And that's like and intrinsically, I felt like that was important. Like intrinsically, I felt like that was something necessary for me. And so by not being that way, I was now going against my nature of who I am, right? And so that forced me to start working out consistently. Okay, but there was always that like underlying like why I started of wanting to look better, be a little bit more intimidating, and be stronger so that I could feel at least like I could protect my family if I needed to. So that was kind of my change. And as far as like best practices for getting started, like I think it kind of depends on where you're at. So for me, I was looking to make a big change in my life, like with that, with a lot of different things, with like discipline, with my mindset, right? I was kind of in a weak point physically, mentally, right? All this stuff. And so if you're at that point, I think that it's better if you, because you want to make a drastic change in who you are, you need to make a drastic change in what you're doing. So I think that there's a lot of people give advice to kind of start slowly, take incremental steps forward and like kind of build on things. But if you're not even who you want to be yet at all, I don't think that's the right way to go. When you are who you want to be and you just want to continue growing and getting better, I think that's good, right? If you're going in this direction and you just want to get better going in this direction, I think that's great. To take it slow, incremental, right? You don't want to make too many changes. But if you're going this direction and you want to go this direction, I think you need to pull the rug out from under yourself with habits, changes, disciplines, actions, all those things. So what I did was like, I changed a bunch of stuff. I started waking up early. I started exercising. I started reading books, right? And I started doing all of these things all at once. And I just committed to it because I had a really big reason why. Again, I kind of like, because of my thought processing, and now it was important for me, and again, intrinsically value for me to be that type of person. I was now going against who I was, who I believe internally that I need to be that type of person. I was going against that. And so I continued to grow in that direction, and I made a massive shift, right? And that's something that you can absolutely do too. And so that's kind of my rant, I guess, on getting the motivation to work out. There's a lot of different stuff in there, but working out, getting motivation to work out. And if you're at a point where, if you're the type of person that you want to be already, you just want to add working out, again, it's going to start with why, but you don't need to make all these like crazy changes. You just need to start going incrementally. But that's my 2 cents. Hopefully somebody found this valuable and helpful. And get out there, start working out, start exercising, and you will feel way, way better and more confident and self-certain and believe in yourself much more.